Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you are returning, bless your hearts. Today I'm going to be working on putting a little garden around this bench, which was my dad's, and so it'll be something of a memorial garden. And I was hoping that my soil cube garden soil or compost would show up before I got started on this, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit longer, so I'll just work with what I have. I live in Zone 8A in North Carolina, and the soil here is clay. And back here in the backyard garden, it's dry shade. So on top of the clay, I have dry shade clay. So it's a particularly difficult soil to work with. So I'm going to definitely put down some organic fertilizer. Plant tone is what I'm using. And then I will add the compost and the mulch when I can. So let's get started. I'm going to show you the plants I have, and I have several flowering plants and a few seeds. So I know I'm a little late with the seeds, but I'm going to plant them anyway and see if they perform sometime in the near future. And what else? Oh, I also have some, well, let me just get the camera and I'll show you. Okay, so I have some of these, a branch fell from a big tree. Let me see if I can show you the tree without making you dizzy. One of these trees over here lost a limb from way up high, and I wound up cutting it into smaller pieces, and so I think I'm going to try to incorporate those logs. I also found some bricks that I've been just piling up. Wasn't sure what I might do with them, but now I might have a place for them. I might do a little some type of little stepping area here in front of the bench. And let me show you the plants. So I went to Lowe's yesterday with my sister. Actually, no, yesterday I went by myself, sorry. And I picked up these beautiful these beautiful hydrangeas at Lowe's. They were like $14.95, so what a deal. So I got two of those. These are shade-loving hydrangeas. I'll tell you the name in a minute. Here are the seeds. I'm going to plant some Coleus seeds. Hopefully they'll come up. Looks like seeds all over the bench, but that's just pollen. This is an elephant ear. 2 bulbs, so I'm going to plant those. And again, it may take a while. I'll tell you. Let's see what it says here. How soon they come up or bloom. Let's see. Hardiness zone 8 to 10. It doesn't say how long it takes for them to come up. I think the Coleus seeds will on the back. Let me see. It should take, oh, that's not long, 25 to 40 days to bloom. So maybe those will bloom by sometime in the summer. This is the organic fertilizer I'm going to be using. Plant Tone by Astilbe. And here are a couple of plants I've already put in the ground. This is a Columbine that I planted from seed a few years ago in a planter box. And then I decided to put it out in another garden bed last year. And so this is a self-seeded plant from the one that I put in the garden. So I think this will self-seed for me, and I'm going to see how that does there. But it's beautiful. I have another one I put in a different garden bed, so I'll probably be having these all over the place. Here is some, I think this is Irish moss. I got 2 of those. Aren't they just adorable? I thought they looked so cute there at the roots of the tree. I might get some more of that and put it between my bricks when I get them down. Here's another one of the hydrangeas. Let's see, this is called, well, if I can find my tag, it just says hydrangea. Hydrangea Macrophylla. Yes, this is I think this is the same kind of hydrangea I have all around this place. So these do very well in the part shade, and they get pretty big. So I've got several of these up around the house that were already here when I bought the house. So I'm just relocating them. Well, not anymore. These have gotten really big. I relocated a few when I first moved in. This is called pulmonaria or lungwort, and it gets these little purple and pink flowers on it. Looks like it's already at least partially bloomed. I guess it might be bloomed out for this year, but maybe I'll get to see some fresh blooms next year. This is called Lamia, and I do believe this also gets a flower on it. Maybe wrong. No, it does. It gets a little pink flower on it. Here's what the tag looks like. It gets a little pink flower on it, and it's also called Spotted Dead Nettle, Lamium maculatum, beacon silver. So I picked up those. There, I think we have 6 plants in that little container. And then of course I had to get another Astilbe because I'm kind of getting crazy about these things. They really are beautiful if I ever get to see a bloom on any of mine, but here's what this one's going to look like. Let me see if I can find the tag. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Vision in Red Astilbe by Monrovia. And these grow in shade, and you can see this one has some blooms, or some buds, I guess, getting ready to open soon, I hope. This one I'd never heard of before. It has one little white flower already on it. It's got a little yellow center. And it is called Blizzard Sandwort. Arnaria Montana Blizzard. I probably didn't say that right, but it says it blooms in spring and summer. Tell me if I mispronounced that. But anyway, that's a perennial for, let me just double check, does it say part sun, morning sun, 3 to 6 hours of morning sun. So this should be, I think this should be okay back here. And then I found another gorgeous hydrangea. This is an oak leaf hydrangea, and this one's called Ruby Slippers. It blooms in summer, and it can tolerate part sun, so it should also be okay back here. And then look at this gorgeous clematis. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to put this here around the bench, or, well, I know I'm not. I'm going to put this in my other sun garden bed that I did on my first video that has a bird condo, and I have a pole I want to cover. So I'm going to, this says part sun. I hope the camera's focusing. Part sun. It's called Sarah Elizabeth Clematis, and it's okay in part sun. So I'm going to put that in the other bed, and all of these and whatever else I can find for this bed. But I'm going to get started with these, and I'll show you some progress along the way. So here's the progress to this point, and it's going to look a lot better, I think, once I get the mulch down. But I've planted the Lamia in between these little logs. I moved the big hosta over to make room for this new hydrangea. Now it'll probably get really big, so I'll have to keep an eye. I might have to move it back. If I move it back, I'll probably put it back there behind the bench, just a little to the right of that bench. I brought out my little reading frog, and I put the Astilbe back here by the bench. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe I can zoom in a little. That'll be really pretty when it blooms. And I'm going to try to get some of these weeds down in the back. For now, it kind of gives a nice little green background at least. And I've already forgotten the name of this plant that's got the little white flower on it, but I'll try to put that on the screen. Now I don't love the way the bricks are looking, so I'll have to play around with those. I don't have very many. I might pick up a few more if I go to Home Depot. Or I might trade it out for some rocks, some slate or something, I don't know. But I'm going to try to go pick up some mulch here in a little bit and kind of dress it out. It's been raining, so everything looks a little bit knocked back. I moved the Columbine with the flowers up over here because I love the little fairy wispy flower heads, and even though it's a little hard to see, even though the flowers have been blooming for a while, might not last very much longer. I thought it'd be really pretty by the bench there. And then I put the small one I moved forward a little bit there. Like I said, those will probably seed and spread. And then I moved one of my Heucheras in another bed over here because it also is flowering, and I love those little wispy flowers on top. I just thought it looked so pretty with the moss and the other wispy flowers of the Columbine, so kind of gives it a little magical fairy quality. And I put the other 3 little Lamias on around these little logs. I don't know if I love the logs right now, but for now. And the Lungwort, seems like the Lungwort is looking a little better. When I got it, it was a little hot, had a little too much sun, I think, but it's looking pretty good now. And this is the Ruby Slippers Oak Leaf Hydrangea, and I think this one is going to be a little bit smaller than these Macrophylla hydrangeas. Those do get pretty big. I've got a couple, as I mentioned, all over the yard. I've got several, so I put those in the back even though they're smaller now. I think in time those will outsize the oak leaf hydrangea. I could be wrong. There's the little fern that was sitting by itself for so long, but now it has some friends. I moved an azalea up here. It's an azalea rhododendron blend, or hybrid I think it's called. And it's in the red family. I'll see if I can find the tag here. Okay, sorry. It is Floramore Red. So this is this one blooms several months. So it blooms March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So it'll probably bloom again for me pretty soon. And then I have a gardenia that was behind a giant hydrangea, so I pulled it out, and it needs to be trimmed up a little bit. It's kind of leaning. It was trying to lean out and get a little bit of the sunshine because the big hydrangea was hiding it. So I'll trim that up, and then I'll dress this all out with some mulch, and then I'll see where I am. I may need a few more plants, but I don't want this to protrude too far out into this space because I mow through here between these 2 beds. But I think I might put down some cardboard over this few little sparsely grassy area, and then put the mulch down so it kind of forms a nice little bed there. So I'll be back when I have more to show. I did want to also show you that I put the clematis, the beautiful pink clematis, on the condo birdhouse post, and I put some floral wire up the post to help it latch on and grow up the post. So I hope it gets enough sun back here. It might not. If it doesn't seem to do well, I can just move it. I've moved my other ones several times, so you'll have to keep watching to see if how it does in time. Okay, y'all, it's a rainy day here. You can probably hear the rain hitting the top of the umbrella above me. So I think I'm just going to jump in the truck and head over to the landscape supply company and pick up some mulch. Okay, I'm back with the mulch and I'm putting down my cardboard. I'm just going to put a layer of cardboard in front of all my new plants, and I'm going to throw the mulch over the cardboard, and I will have to get the back later. Right now there's a big layer of leaves back there as well as weeds. So I think that's mulch enough for back behind the bench. Today I'm just going to focus on in front of the bench and around the plants. So this is how you sheet mulch. You just lay down cardboard. Some people wet it and then put the mulch down, but it's raining a little here, so it's probably wet enough. I don't usually wet it. I just put the mulch down on top of it and it's usually fine. So, all right. Hopefully the next shot will be the finished thing, I hope. I'm getting really tired. So, we'll see. So close. Need a little bit more mulch and a little bit more cardboard. There goes Luna. But isn't it pretty? I love it. The hydrangeas look so small back there now, but they'll fill in. I'll have to rake those leaves back a little behind them. And I may have to put something on my bench, maybe some paint. I don't know if I want to paint it since it was that color with my dad, but I do want to protect it, so I might need to paint it. Just a little bit more mulch. Phooey. Oh well, one more trip to Home Depot. Maybe I'll get a couple bags and finish it up. The landscape center will be closed tomorrow, but open again Monday. But I'd like to get this done over the weekend so I can upload my video. Okay, y'all, it's Sunday afternoon and I'm getting in the car. Gonna head over to Home Depot, pick up about 8 or 10 more bags of that pine bark mini nugget mulch that I like. Because the landscape supply company is closed on Sundays and I want to get this finished up so I can upload the video for you guys. So let's get going. So when I went for the mulch, I wound up going to a nursery that I haven't been to before, and I bought some other plants. So this first little plant that I'm going to show you is called Fuchsia. And this is actually 2 plants, and I believe this may be an annual, but it'll get a really pretty little flower that hummingbirds like. It's about to bloom now. This one in my boot is called hardy geranium, and this should actually survive. If I put it in the ground, it should come back. And I'll probably do that before much longer. This one is called a New Guinea Impatiens, and it's also an annual. So if I want to keep that one, I'll have to bring it indoors. I also picked up a couple of these Coleus plants because seeds will take too long. That's the plant I had in seeds. I just went ahead and got some plants to have that color now. I got 4 of those. There's one in the front, one tucked away behind the Astilbe, and then 2 on the other side. There's a bright red one by the Heuchera and the Columbine. And then down there beside the Hydrangea is a pink and green Coleus. Might not be able to see it because of all the leaves behind. There it is. And just to the right of the Hydrangea, behind the fern, is another Fuchsia. It's actually 2 small plants put together to make a little clump of Fuchsia there. So that's going to do it this time. Thank you so much for watching. For those who are interested in knowing how much this project cost, I'm going to put the cost of each of the plants and the mulch somewhere on the screen. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helps me grow my channel. And thank you so much. I'll see you next time.